You're following the legislation. What's happening and what is the push to end daylight savings?
Frankly, there is like, I wouldn't even call it a push. It is like a nudge, and this like a nudge, but it feels like every year there's some version of the Sunshine Protection Act that is put out there as a, hey, can we just stop daylight savings time? And just really quickly, like in your mind, do you know why we have daylight savings time? Why do you think it is? Like, you're like, oh, maybe it's for farmers, maybe it's for, preserving daylight. And it was like, no, this is a vestige from World War II where we were trying to save energy because we were back in the days, very, very expensive to light our homes. The cost per watt has dropped significantly to a de minimis amount where this is not a thing anymore for doing. We are literally choosing to just twice a year hit ourselves in the head with a hammer effectively. We're talking about literally self-inflicted injury here, that not just the productivity. Let's talk about health. 24% increase in heart attacks, 6% increase in fatal car accidents, and 5.7% increase in workplace injuries, including the places of nonprofit workplaces. This is a literally like own goal. We are harming ourselves, and it's asymmetric. I'm willing to bet if you understand your communities and you understand the impacts of sleep deprivation. And I'm sorry, if you are a parent, like we had you at hello because you still have a child who's coming into your room an hour earlier, terribly confused. And the second order effect is learning, eating, and all of that hard work you put into it. This is absolutely absurd. 2 states in the United States literally just said, we're done here. Arizona and Hawaii. Why are we doing this? And it's because Congress chooses to sit on their hands and no one's paying them. That's the truth. There's no lobby group. There's nobody giving them money to do this. It is, I think, I'll go ahead and say, the most bipartisan support for a thing. Literally, there's no opposition. They're just not being paid to do it. So I have put together a cry to Congress where any parent knows that like that extra crying, I literally want you to find your representative, and we have it in the email. I want you to find your representative, be like Sunshine Act. And I just want you to play. We have a little baby crying. You can get your own baby crying if you want. Just let them listen to what we deal with every 6 months. This is absolutely absurd, and I'm fired up about it. And I think it disproportionately also impacts nonprofits in the communities we work with. Like, this is a real issue. This is something we could solve. This would help pretty much, you name a population that you are working with. Hopefully it takes in your mind like, oh my gosh, we could get behind this and actually help the people we serve in a unbelievable way. It's like it is sitting right in front of us as a sector. Please, if you are interested in this, like, I am ready to side quest so hard on the Sunshine Act. Like, let's go. End scene and rant.
George, I love it. I love it. Yeah, as you said, you can go to page with a custom AI we built to help you contact your representative.
Cry to Congress. This is not.
Cry to Congress.
This is click to cry. Click to cry technology.
Click to cry technology.
And guess why?
Oh boy.
I'm also sick right now is because my kids were more susceptible to illness. And then they caught that. Well, actually, no, it's because my baby licks the floor of the library. But increased sickness. I wish he'd stop doing that.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that seems like a thing. All right, George, I'll take us into our next segment. We wanted to quickly give an update on the newly formulated Nonprofit Wellness Index. That's the NWI, Nonprofit Wellness Index. This is, George, an aggregate metric that we invented to track the overall health and kind of activity of the nonprofit sector, broken down with a timeliness that is month over month, a monthly indication of sector health. This is more granular and timely than any other metric even comes close to. What's included in that wellness index, George? It's job and volunteer listings, it's digital advertising spend, it's layoff data, and we're constantly going back and revising up or down when we receive new data, adjust data, and every month we do this, we learn a little bit more about how the sector fluctuates, and it helps us kind of balance everything over time. So George, in October, we had a NWI score of 3.49. That doesn't mean anything to you if you don't see the chart, but it means it's going up, right? So October had increased activity over September. George, we actually revised September numbers down to 2.99, which is a weak rating based on updated data. George, the big increase in October was largely due to an increase in Glassdoor activity by nonprofits, so jobs posted to Glassdoor. And George, we're making assumptions here, right? Increases in jobs is a net good thing. It shows nonprofits are expanding, right? But again, this is a proxy, and we're learning as we go. But what are you taking away from this nonprofit consumer sentiment index, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, one, this is going to get better over time. And what you're seeing now is the worst it will ever be. And I'm already starting to realize, as why are these numbers changing so much? Is the normalization over time. We are looking at the entire swath of data that we have since May when we started this to sort of understand and normalize on the 1 to 4 scale. And so seeing, like, actually looking back, we revised July too, went like awful, like absolutely awful. Like that was the worst month that we have ever tracked. So overall, we are, looks like, kind of coming out of a bit of a V shape for the trough of sorrow, which was this summer, and generally moving up. I'm not surprised September was reduced because it felt a little more optimistic when I had those numbers. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. And then as more data came in, and it normalized a bit more, I was like, okay, I start to see this trend. Yes, we're making assumptions, but I think over time, it's helpful to understand, like, are nonprofits hiring? Are they spending on ads? And year over year, we're going to understand more. So honestly, this is a long-term play. We're very patient here, but I'm already starting to kind of get insights from looking at this and understanding where the numbers are moving as a whole versus the feels like temperature, what your friends are like posting in that WhatsApp group, or the like annual report that analyzes giving from the last year, which you're like, it's not helpful to know that it was raining last year. You're like, fair. I'm going to work tomorrow. Should I bring a raincoat?
Yeah, George. And I think in addition, right, like we are also really kind of primed now that we have, let's say, half a year of data, that if there's a shock to the system, we'll see it in the data in real time, right? Let's say there's another round of funding cuts, there's some kind of national emergency, whatever it may be, we'll see that nearly instantly in the data now that we start to have kind of benchmarks. So
yeah, we're establishing a baseline pulse for our patient. And that is kind of like the messy. Honestly, we could have sat on this for a year. I'm just so impatient. I was just like, launch it now. And so you're kind of watching us build this live, but it's getting better.
It's getting better. All right, George. Well, we are moving on. We're now entering kind of the very beginning of the season of giving, George. So we have Giving Tuesday coming up in about a month. We have the end of year giving cycle coming at us in about 2 months, a little under 2 months now. And we wanted to just quickly highlight the donation tools on the Meta platform. If you listen to this podcast, you've heard us talk about donation tools a lot over the past couple of weeks with GoFundMe and other platforms. However, George, we wanted to talk about Meta because we think it's important that nonprofits do actually take advantage of perhaps less obvious or less traditional vehicles for helping folks donate to your organization. The benefit here, right, is that you have complete control over this functionality. So Meta has fundraising giving tools for nonprofits. It allows you to add kind of verified fundraising links to your pages. It adds legitimacy to you as an organization. You can link out to your own website's donate page, right? So you can control that if you don't want to go through some kind of other platform, right? You can just have people go straight to your website when they click the button. But there's also the option to go through the PayPal Giving Fund. But George, Meta's also working with platforms like GiveButter, even Bonterra, which owns every action and NGP van. So there's ways that Meta is kind of allowing you to customize this. And the reason we say this, right, is, we're very vigilant on how these platforms are helping or not helping nonprofits. But the nuance of that, right, is there's right ways to do this. And Meta has given nonprofits, they've been doing this for years, of course, but just want to remind folks, right, that if you're not taking advantage of these pathways that are really designed just to streamline the donor pipeline, that donor user experience, you're missing out. So go check out what kind of functionalities available to you. And I'm sure, George, I don't think it's available on Threads yet, but Threads is kind of taken off as a platform, kind of quietly in the background, right? Meta, of course, also this functionality is available on Instagram. So it's just something to pay attention to if by chance you're not.
Yeah. So again, sort of nothing new under the sun here, is just letting you redirect the donors from the experience that would be essentially routing your data one way to actually through your website instead, where you would get higher access control of the processing fees. Although Facebook Meta doesn't take any fees on that cut, it's still the credit card processing, but it's just so much easier when the data lands in your own CRM through your messaging system. You get access to the things that frankly you have set up for your donation flow. So I think this is a step in the right direction. I am watching it closely to see if there's any gotchas, to be clear. And I've actually reached out to some of the folks at Meta on that program to see if they'll come on the podcast and just explain it and just sort of kick the tires on it. But as a checklist for the fundraisers out there, this is where you're kind of doing the little things in the right way, where you want to make sure that donate page, the Facebook fundraisers, the YouTube charity, like YouTube for nonprofits links are all correctly going to the right pages and are set. Because look, we're looking more and more toward organic social, organic interactions on site donation flows rather than, frankly, the organic traffic we used to get because of the rise of AI-based philanthropy and the AEO, answer engine optimization world, that Whole Whale is spending a lot of time tracking, a lot of time optimizing for, and trying to figure out how that's going to reshape philanthropy this season and the seasons to come. So it's just sort of in the back of your mind, just checking your own page is not enough anymore. Go do the rounds, especially because we all know we just sort of zone out, veg out after Thanksgiving. Basically, as soon as you hear Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas, this year is over.
Is it time, George? Am I allowed to?
No.
No?
No.
No? What's the
yes,
rule?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Oh, gosh. All right, George. Sound advice, as always. George, it is that time of the episode when I give you a really bad joke. But I'm particularly proud of this one, I gotta say. Okay.
Don't know how to process that. Prepared.
All right. George, how did the Creative Literature nonprofit welcome guests to its big gala?
How did they welcome guests?
With a long red carpet. Get it? They read it. Red carpet.
Oh boy. Yeah, no.
It's a book. It's a Books joke.
It is a Books joke. Alrighty. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, George. See you next time.